Yeah, Parvani, you can start. We are live streaming on ECA Facebook page.
Right, ma'am. Namaste, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the webinar. To all the attendees and people who are still joining us, I would like to say once you're full here, you can watch us live on the ECA Facebook page, and you can direct your friends and colleagues there as well. Well, we have a group of eminent educators of the city here today on the panel, and we also have a pediatrician on the panel with us. I thank you very much for your time and welcome you to the webinar. Let's directly get to why we are here. I am Parvani Davar. I am the territory head of the ECA Indore chapter, and I'm also the headmistress of Shushukunj Preschool, Shanti Vihar. Let me take the privilege of introducing the panelists to you here. We have Mrs. Nilakshi Navlekar, who is the founder of Chetas, that is Chetas Center for Child Development. She is a school psychologist and she is a diploma holder of the multiple intelligence. She is also a chief faculty trainer of the SNDT Teachers Training Program. And above all, she is the joint secretary of the Indore ECA chapter. So welcome and thank you for joining us today, ma'am. We also have Neelama Gupta, ma'am, here today, who is the executive principal of the Hildenburg Reddy, and that's Indore and Bhopal both. She is a trained storyteller, speech and drama expert, and has done numerous workshops for both children and teachers in this domain. Currently, we're seeing a lot of ma'am on the social media where she's engaging the children very creatively indeed. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming and welcome. Then we have Mr. Radha Jamar, who is a postgraduate from the Birmingham University. He is masters in education and holds specialization in the early years education. He is the chief program officer at the Oscar Education Solutions and looks after the corporate daycare and preschool program. He is one of the youngest core committee member of the ECA Indore chapter. Thanks, Aradhya. Thanks for joining in. Finally, we have Dr. Isha Singh. She is a practicing pediatrician who is a postgraduate in adolescence nutrition. She also holds a certificate in adolescence medicine and has been conducting a lot of workshops for teachers and children and parents in this domain. And again, a very dear friend. Thank you for coming. Well, to start off, since we are here to talk about a very upcoming and very talked about subject of online learning, too much of that happening all around us. So I would like to begin by saying that we need to understand that online learning has to have an objective, right? There has to be a why of taking online sessions for us as teachers when you are deciding to take the session. So essentially, as what my understanding says is there are two fundamental needs of children that we can meet through this online sessions that we take, whether it's staged online or a live online session. The first is the sense of security which we can develop in the children, because the children are used to routines and rhythm. They're used to seeing us every day in school, doing activities and stuff like that. So it's as much a part of their routine as brushing their teeth or having meals and things like that. So that's the first fundamental need which we can address of children as we go virtual. The next one is about the relationships and the bonding which we are developing with our children, the connect which we hold at all times, the social emotional connect. So by being virtual or being on screen, we can develop that, we can nurture that relationship with them. Before I pass on the screen to Nilakshi ma'am, I would request all the panelists to please adhere to the time frame, and also keep in mind that we are discussing the online learning in the context of early years. So, all our discussions would be based around that. Over to you, Nilakshi ma'am.
Thank you, ECA chapter Indore and ECA for inviting me to be on this panel today. And I really like the name of the topic, Navigating Online Learning. Because in the present scene, I think that we all are learning to navigate. And we as teachers or educators, we are basically transforming the classroom learning and bringing it to the home front. Yes, this is definitely something which is the need of the hour, and there is a difference between when we as teachers conduct a classroom session and when we are conducting a session online for our children. And we are not only unlearning what was there earlier, but we are learning new skill sets, because I'm sure many of us are not so accustomed to being online and conducting online sessions. But as educators, what I feel, we need to keep one thing in mind, and that is that we need to and we can definitely make online learning for our children fun, and we can bring about quality learning in our sessions. Now, when we talk about quality learning in our sessions, it has more to do with, the content, what you are trying to give to the children, rather than the quantity or the time. आप कितने सेशंस ले रहे हो, दिन में कितने बार, वीक में कितने बार, उससे ज्यादा what you want to give to the children, what we are trying to make the children learn, what is the outcome, that is what is more important. And as Parvani rightly said, we need to know the why. We need to stick to the why. That why are we conducting these sessions? So basically it is because we want to still maintain that connect or that interaction with our children, because we care for our students. And just as the students are missing us and the school, we are also missing our children. We are missing on, that daily interaction, that planning, and how we used to spend the time, that I want to do this with the children, or remembering the smiles and everything. So this is what has to motivate us to keep going for the online sessions. Now, first, most what I feel that when we are planning for the online sessions is that we as teachers need to have a positive framework, a positive attitude, and look at it, that how we are going to go about these sessions. Secondly, what is more important is that we need to have flexibility in our sessions, because as I said, we are moving from the classroom to the home front. So there are a lot of points that we have to keep in mind when we are conducting an online session. The child is at home, there has going to be family members, the siblings, there are going to be a lot of other distractions to the child. So ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझे आज ये एक्टिविटी करनी है, मैंने ये प्लान किया है तो ये होना ही चाहिए. So you have to consider a lot many aspects to it. Ki there can be some points which can be determined that the session could not be conducted, or there were some disturbances. So we have to keep a flexible schedule when we are planning for the sessions. That is what I feel. Secondly, when we are going online, so it is distance learning, okay? And as an educator, that is exactly what we have to do, is that we have to take away the distance from the distance learning. Because see, it's going to be a new experience for the child to see us on the screen, okay? And at the same time, they are going to see their friends also on the scene. So it's going to be a completely different experience for the child. So what we have to keep in mind is that how are we going to, shorten this distance or let go away with this distance? Because that human touch is not going to be there. But yes, you can bring that. And that is by making the session be as more interactive as possible and try to have connections with the children. So when we are talking about having connections with the children, what as teachers or educators we need to work upon is what works best for you. Okay, so what is the platform? There are many platforms through which you can connect with the children. But as we are talking of early years children, what from my experience I felt was that small recorded videos or even small WhatsApp video calls can also, work with these children, because they are so thrilled to see you when they get to see you. And that is what is important. So for younger children, we have to select a proper platform through which we can go for the online session. Now, either we are going live or we are sending recorded sessions to the children. We have to keep some points in mind. Now, that is, we have to first think about that these sessions need to be short. Okay, the duration should be short, because in early years or the small children, it is very difficult to make them sit in one place. They want movement, a lot of movement. At the same time, as I said, it is going to be on the home front. So there are going to be a lot of distractions to the child. So we have to time those sessions in such a manner that they are short, but at the same time, what you want to give to the child, you must be able to accomplish that in that particular session. So what is important for this is you need to plan for the session. Planning is very important. Either it be a live session or you are going to go for a recorded video for the children. So how are you going to have that connect with the child? So when you are going for an online session, when you are beginning the online session, greet the child, tell them, like, show it to them that how happy you are to connect with them in this manner. You can make them aware of their other friends who are attending the sessions. Sometimes what happens, the children are so thrilled to see you, and they're so thrilled that they want to share so many things about the home with you. Okay, they want to call their siblings, they want you to call their parents. So this is what I am talking about, when you have to be a little flexible. You can't be rigid कि मुझे इस way में session conduct करना है. So these are all things which you have to take into consideration when the session is going on. So when you greet the children, when the children are listening to you, when they are performing something which you tell them to do, then you can, encourage them by either clapping for them, showing them a thumbs up sign. You can either, call out their name. You can tell the other children also. So maybe we can all clap for the children. So these are all simple things which will make the session more interactive and more lively and help you to connect with the children, so that whenever the schools reopen and whenever the children are going to come back, they will not feel that this is something out of this thing. They will feel that connection with you. Another important thing when I feel that when we are working with this early years children, it is that we need to incorporate a lot of movement in the sessions. It should not be that you are just taking the session and you expect the children to listen to you, or even if it's a recorded version of the session, try to, not clutter it with a lot of information, because when this will happen, it is more of a passive learning on the part of the child. So try to make it more interesting. Again, what is happening, you may not be having the resources which were available at your disposal in a classroom setting. So try to make the best of what is available with you in the home front, because you are also conducting the lesson from an home front. So we need to keep all those things when planning for an online session. So make the most of what is available. Say if it is a session which you are conducting for the children, you can make the children do simple activities like clap their hands, tell them to snap their fingers, tell them to get up and have a quick twirl around. Or if you can incorporate something in which, they are required to get something from their house to share with their friends. So this will help the children to be more participative in the sessions, and this will help them, to look forward to the sessions. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि बच्चे को ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि क्यों मैं रोज ये सेशंस को अटेंड करूं. So we need to pull back the children. We need to make them come back again and again to attend our sessions. So we have to be creative when we conduct the sessions. I will not be talking a lot about the creative aspect because I'm sure Nilima will be covering that. So but definitely we can make it more interesting and more innovative for the children so that they look forward to it. One more crucial point which we need to consider is, as we are on the home front, okay, so the children are also on the home front and we as teachers are also on the home front. So basically teachers are also mothers. Okay, so we are also tend to be, time bound. So flexibility has to be kept with regarding to that point also. And if we want parents to also participate in these sessions, so we have to go about it in a manner which is not very overwhelming for the parents also. So please make it sure that if you want the participation of the parents, you are conducting some craft activity, then please intimate it to the parents that you require the support and their participation in that activity. You can capture on those strengths of parents also to in a session. Say you can have a fun day, a grandparents day, which we can have an online session where the children are participating, and you can invite the parents to have and participate in the session. So this will all help us to make the sessions more interactive. And at the same time, you please make the parents feel comfortable that whatever sessions you are taking in during this time, they will be taken again. So the children will not be missing out. It is not just about completion of the curriculum. So we will be taking up this teaching sessions or learning experiences again when we come back. So keep those sessions short, try to be interactive with the children, try to cover as many areas which you can with the children. Just to share a small example, like you can take a session of senses. So try the children to go and bring those things which they can see in the room, which they can share with the children. So this will bring movement and interaction in the session as well. So I think that's all, and I will not take much time and invite Nilima ma'am to carry forward the session. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm audible, please? Yeah, okay. So I'm Nilima, and this online learning has really amazed me because of so many reasons. And I will discuss why and what to do and how to do. Because these are very, very, I always come on to why, how, when, and what. So when it comes to online learning, and if I just, a way back when we were all free and we were enjoying our freedom, we were talking about our classes and learnings, the only thing that used to come into our mind was that we don't have time. Be it the parents, the teachers, the children, we don't have time. So I think this period has been, the consequence of our collective prayers. Now we have lots of time. Of course, an addition of household chores is there, but we are all together within the houses, and that's what we have to make use of. Mind you, by God's grace, this period will never come into our lives. There is a lot of learning that we take. I think every step that we take, every morning when we get up, the learning starts, the teaching starts. So this is something that we have to take it forward. Now when it comes to the title itself, when you say locked down is such a negative term. When you say somebody locked down, that means you are abandoned of, your freedom is snatched. Cannot, you have to be locked down. So this has to be communicated to children. The teachers who are taking the classes, we'll discuss about how and what and how much they have been doing it, or they can do it. The term lockdown, at least you can minimize it by using some nice terms to your classes. You can say happy hours. You can say anything like, we fix happy hours every day, 11 to 12, and we meet you at your home, which is the most convenient and most comfortable place. Staying with the parents, with teacher in front of you, what else do you need? I think these pre-primary children, kindergarten children want to stay home. They don't want to come school. So what a better place to learn within the comfortable zone. So now comes to the learning, the teachers, what they do. I don't know how much they can, afford to do that, because just for the sake of teaching or completing the syllabus, which can always be done on later stages, prepare a lesson plan which is comfortable for them and which is applicable to them at present. Our focus should be on the physical as well as the creative development of the child. And I think a home with family members around is the best place to do so. Only thing is that there is a challenge. Now, when we say online learning, we as an educator, even the earlier teachers and everybody never supports the use of gadgets. And now all of a sudden, what we are doing is we are giving them a screen where everything is there. So we have to justify this later. We have to be ready with the consequences if a child demands screen later, when there is no lockdown, when the happy hours are over and we are getting back to our syllabus and the school system. Will we be able to cope up with the challenge if the child gets habitual of this? So the first thing is that are we educating our parents on how to handle these classes? This is very, very important, because this has its own repercussion. This has its own consequences that need to be handled. Now, coming to the teacher's perspective, there is so much available on the internet on how and what you can teach. You can make wonderful lesson plans. Please be cautious in selecting what to teach, because you know your children, you know your circumstances, you know how comfortably and how well they can take the things from you. So you have to decide, pick up things, take a guidance, but plan something innovative, which is out of the box. So for being out of the box, when you are taking lesson plans ready for your children, remember, keep that face in your mind who was there with you, crying, not ready to come to the school, and now has to sit in front of you that you are going to teach on the screen. Keep a small batch size so that you have all the children on your screen, so that you don't have to scroll. You don't have to scroll, wasting, waste time in scrolling the screen and seeing who's doing what. So keep a small batch size. As Nilakshi said, keep a small time slot also, wherein you can do what you do. Remember, we have to focus on the physical as well as creative development of the child through these online classes. We have a lot of things. We have a lot of topics that we take in our classes. Like we have family, which is the best time to complete that syllabus, the family thing, because they have the entire course module with them, because they're staying at home. So maybe you can ask them to make a family tree. And why just this generation? Give them a little more challenge, which you cannot do otherwise. Give them a challenge of having 3 more generations before you, 4 more generations before you, and I'm sure none of the parent remembers the names more than 2 generations. So this is a challenge, which, the negativity which is moving all around, how we can divert into positivity, because our generation is going to be recorded. Because we have seen something which for years it will be the matter and the subject of studies, for scientists, for educators, for everybody. So let's make it more positive. So when we talk about these things, online classes, are the teachers trained to do so? There are a couple of activities that we can definitely plan through stories, definitely. But are our teachers, how many of the organizations have taken prior session to what and how to teach? What to teach is definitely a content, and teachers are working with the limited resources. How to take these classes? The background and the ambience, because what you teach through your words is one thing, but what you're teaching from the things around, are the teachers ready as the teacher, or they got up and they sat in front of the screen without cleaning the mess around, and then they're taking the classes. So what are you teaching your children through what you're not speaking, the verbal and the non-verbal communication? What are you teaching with the body language? Are you teaching in a mess around, or have you taken the arrangement that yes, this is my class? So can you fill it up with, maybe if children are fond of soft toys, they feel happy, so before seeing the teacher's face, can you welcome them on those happy hours with something which brings smiles on their faces? You can teach a lot, there is no doubt about it. With smaller batch sizes, with smaller the shorter groups, you can teach them a lot. So we have been teaching drama through online learning, and we have adapted it so well. But before that, we've got trained that how to keep a background. So like you can see in this is the background, and this happens, the colorful backgrounds, all the teachers have to make it at back, and that we know that we are entering a class. We are entering into a virtual class which doesn't exist, but it does exist when I come to this. So it's a magical place that you can create, a magical place around you, which helps a child to feel happy, because these are happy hours, remember. So this is how you create, so that when a child comes, he shouldn't say that today he's seeing the dining table behind, or he's sitting somewhere else. Today we are sitting on a table, sometimes I'm sitting on a bed. So this is the first thing that we should keep in mind if I'm teaching younger children. The same place with the same face, if they see, they'll be happier. Then I don't know, there is the science behind it, but I feel so, because children feel more connected, more happy when they see things around, because they're not observing you. They have a curiosity in mind that I'm going to teachers, or the teacher is coming to my house with her background around. So they're observing that too. Coming back to the stories, you can teach everything through stories. Give assignments, tell them the story, and rather than taking boring long lesson plans on math and all, everything can be done. Now you are the mother teacher, and in your classrooms you have an assistant teacher. So now be little more, what we can say, more creative, and capture the mothers sitting in their house. Of course, not sitting, they're busy very much, mind you. So take them as your assistant teacher. Let's involve them. They will also understand how much pain you take in your classes when they come for the complaining sessions in the PTMs. You're working hard. The teachers are all working very, very hard. The only thing is that this is a platform which is new, the online learning and learning. This has to be emphasized, because finally the child is learning, and you are teaching them how to remain positive. You are teaching the child how to do the syllabus in a most creative manner. And then the challenge that you are going to face, that take away this gadget later. So that has to be controlled. So that way also, not only the teachers have to be oriented, the entire family has to be oriented to watch the screen time later on. And I hope to some aspects which I wanted to throw a light on, it was to be this is what I felt while taking my own online drama classes. I thought that it needs to come to the teachers. It will definitely help them. So I'm done, Parvani. If I have to do something else, maybe.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Aradhya, please go ahead.
Sure. First of all, I would like to thank Parvani ma'am for organizing this webinar and making sure that the Indore chapter is taking the rightful measures in educating and creating awareness among the educators. And as Nilima ma'am told, about the happy hours. So I'm going to tell all the educators about, how to make sure that, you are well equipped with conducting these happy hours. And also, as Nilakshi ma'am told, that, you need to learn some things and unlearn some things. So if we talk, okay, this is the time wherein, the classroom sessions and how the preschool used to be, we need to unlearn that. And what are those things that we need to learn is, now we need to be, technically more strong, and we have moved to a digital platform. And although this is a temporary phase, but I certainly feel that, for an educator, it is very essential at this point to get equipped. And it is also very important that, for a teacher, it is, they need to understand, how their roles and responsibilities have dramatically changed, without any intermission. So now more of a teacher is like a facilitator, wherein, they are on this platform, they're sharing some information, they're doing some activities. But yes, there is a very strong connect with the parents which is required during this time. So while we're doing these online sessions, it is very important for teachers to know that, their role are more of a facilitator now. When we go ahead and plan these sessions, it is very important for us to, identify what kind of technology partner are we choosing for, right? So if we talk about online session is not just about having videos. It can be much more than that. It can be having some Zoom calls. It can also be, sharing some of the worksheets. It can be about sharing some of the quizzes. It can be sharing about some of the audios. So you can, yes, everyone can use Zoom these days. You can have WhatsApp as a medium, and there are also a lot of applications which are available these days, so you can even use that. There are even quizzes. So I've seen one of the preschool is sharing their the, what do we call those, A for apple, B for ball, some kind of quizzes on a very platform which is called as Bino. So it gets very engaging for the kids as well. Since it's a screen time, it's going to be less, so we need to make sure that, we're creating very good engagement. Now once you have chosen the software, and again, you can probably choose any of your laptops, your computers which are good with it. And then it is very essential that whichever medium or the software you're using, you're well equipped with that. Before you move on to, sharing these information with the parents, with the starting an online session, it is essential that you yourself get used to it, right? Now what you can do is, you can, just play around with the app, play around in with your family members, try to send invites, check whether how the camera works in it, what are the various modes, how can you send invites to everyone, how do you respond to these messages, a basic, what is the cost, what is the pricing, so that, you yourself get well equipped with it. This is very one of the most important things while you start with an online session, so you need to be aware with it. Now again, moving ahead, it is also essential that yes, all these platforms require your internet and your Wi-Fi connection, so you need to optimize it. Make sure that whichever software you're using it, you have a very good Wi-Fi connection, or place your mobile phones or whatever hardware you're using near to your Wi-Fi setup, so that, yes, you're very well connected. And also it is very important for us to know that see, internet connection does not depends, it sometimes it get connected, it sometimes it might get disconnected. So you should be well prepared with it. You don't need to panic about it, because see, there are some aspects of this online which are not in your hands, right? So you don't need to panic with it. Make sure that, you have some of the other equipments, like a spare phone which you can probably use. So these are some of the things, and make sure that the moment you get a good connection, you can again switch it on. So these are some of the basic things. Now, as Nilima ma'am told, that yes, it is very important to have an appropriate environment. So as what kind of things we had in the classroom, we used to have those pictures of all the kids, some of the resources, or some of the equipment, some of the toys. We have cubby holes in the classes. Definitely, at this point, we cannot have this, because we have some resource, we don't have that many resources at our homes. So, but what we can do is, we can be a little creative, create some of our own resources, hanging around where, while you're online, kids can see it, some of the maybe yes and no's during the COVID-19, or whatever lesson plan you have, some of those worksheets can be hanged so that, it becomes more interesting and more engaging, right? And at the same time, it is very important for you to plan these lessons, right? So whatever kind of lessons we are preparing, what we as a preschooler are doing is, we are sending some before the lesson starts, we are sharing some of the resources, so that yes, parents are aware, okay, what is it going to happen. And then once we do the session, we are also sharing some of the kind of homeworks or some assignments which doesn't require these worksheets, but at the same time they ensure that, kids have some of the knowledge of what they have been listening about. So you can have some poster making, or some sort of coloring which they can do at the home, some kind of sticking things, so these things, right? So what happens is you have a very good connect, and that is how you need to plan the session. You can give some pre-session work, which can be some sort of reading or some sort of worksheets. Then while you do the session, you have some of your resources involved, and once you have completed, you can give some post session. And then again, while you're planning, you need to ensure that whatever timing you're choosing for your online session, it needs to ensure that parents are always available. See, we need to understand during this time is, parents definitely have a lot of things going on because the domestic help is not available. So we need to plan these sessions in such a way that, it gets easier for the parents to be online, as well as, and they can ensure that the kids are engaged during this time, right? Now in the end, I would like to just tell you that these were some of the technical aspects to make sure that, we are very well equipped with the digital learning happening. And yes, one of the biggest benefit this is, that the flexibility, even if you're at home, you definitely have a very good connect with the parents, with the kids out there. And it has one of the potential that, it can reach to n number of kids at the time. Even it can reach to the kids who are not the part of your school. So the reach is definitely one of the biggest opportunities which we have. And but all you need to do is spend a little time, research well, create your lesson plans very critically, evaluate them, and then go online. It's not just, that okay, you decide and then you go. So Parvini ma'am, this was all about how we can get equipped with the learnings. And over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aradhya. Very insightful indeed. We will move to Dr. Isha.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Parvini and ECA, to give me an opportunity to talk to the teachers regarding this online learning. When we talk about online learning, we are also, again, as Nilima ma'am has said, we are also concerned for the screen time, for the kind of addiction a child may have later on for that screen, demanding the screen. In a routine life, I would say pre-corona era, as we are saying it. So pre-COVID era, at that time we were saying, as per WHO, a child between 2 to 6 years is allowed to have a screen time of only 1 hour a day. But now, when we talk of screen time, this is not a interactive screen time. This is a one-way screen time. The child is either watching some videos or some rhymes, but the screen is not interactive with the child. Now you as teachers are interacting with the child in an online lesson. So when you interact with the child, it doesn't stay the same screen time as it is when the child is watching a
Dr.
TV or a
Isha,
video.
sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is kind of breaking. Would you like to try shutting down the video and just letting us hear your audio? Would you like to try that?
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Am I audible now?
It's very clear now. Thank you.
Okay. So what I was saying is that parents are definitely going to be concerned that whether the child is getting addicted to the screen or not. The addiction of the screen comes when the screen is one-sided. What I mean from one-sided is there is no interaction from the screen. Only the child is just watching the videos which are not responding to the child if child is doing something, or if the child is trying to attract the person. When you as teacher are taking an online lesson, at that time the child is actually what you're doing. Child is also able to react to what you are doing, and you are also able to respond to the child. When you respond to the child, it's not the same screen time what we normally talk about. That, as I said, the WHO approves only 1 hour a screen for this age group. That is like watching just TV. But this child is learning from you. Child is able to answer your questions, and you are able to applaud or give him small instructions, because we all know that between 2 to 6 we give very short instructions. We have a very short attention span. So as Nilima ma'am and Nilakshi ma'am and even Aradhya sir has already mentioned, that you have to keep short sessions so that child is able to interact with you. That is the most important part in a screen time. Also, as ma'am Nilakshi ma'am has mentioned, that completion of curriculum is not the target of the teachers. Here the target is that child is continuously learning something. Our target is that the zeal to learn something new is not lost when child comes back to a routine school. So that child is not lost the touch with you as a teacher, who are almost like a mother in the school, and child is able to have that same rapport with you which he was having before this period. So this will help you not only continue, this will not only help you continuous learning the teaching the child, but also keeping a bond with the child, so that you're able to continue the same learning when the school reopens regularly. And we all know that it could be few months and maybe more than few months. As a doctor, as a pediatrician, we know that maybe this whole session goes away in like very few months we have in this whole session. So that learning process of the child is not lost in this. So that is the most important part of this online learning. So I think, Pavani, that would be all. If any questions are there, then I'm open to it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Isha. We do have a lot of questions in the window here, Q&A window. I would start by, there's a question which says that, what about some age-specific tasks for children? For this age, can we name a few age-specific tasks? I would like to throw this question to Nilakshi ma'am, if you could take it, please.
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying, when we are planning a lesson plan, am I audible? So when we are planning our lesson plans, we definitely need to keep in mind the suitability. That is the task suitable for the children? And same time, we have to keep it in mind that there are going to be differences among the children, the background from where the children are. So we can have during the session activities, more of movement activities, which all the children can participate in and which are enjoyable for the children. One more aspect is like we have limited resources available to plan and conduct the session. So we have to make use of what is available on the home front with the children. So we say we want to take a concept of numbers, teaching numbers. We want to again reinforce on number counting or this thing. So the best is using the available resources and handing tasks to the children where they are required to do the counting. So the simple activity, like which is suitable for the age of that child, that counting the number of chairs which are there in their home, or utensils. Children love to bang and play with utensils, stack the glasses and the katoris. So इस type की activities जो है we can have them with the limited resources. And we have to keep in mind, as Nilima ma'am was saying, कि we know our children whom knows our children? We know them. We know each child. We know the disposition the child has. You know the kind of the activities they enjoy. And some children may not be able to participate in those activities. So we can keep that and then assign the tasks to the children.
Right. To add to that, I also feel that children they should start involving themselves, which probably they are doing by now, into a lot of household chores. That's again a very important part of learning, and teachers can encourage children to do that even more. So that's like you're asking them to do some tasks when you're not there, because you're not with them all the time, right? Another question we have is that teachers feel that it becomes difficult for us to connect to the children because they have less attention span. So can you suggest some kind of strategies to do that? Would you like to take this, Neela Mama?
Yeah, so about the attention span, I would also like to add on, although Nilakshi has given quite a lot about, age-specific tasks, the need of the hour, as I said, that you're teaching so many things from the syllabus, but as well as, this is the best time to teach health and hygiene. So why not adding on one lesson plan on washing hands for 20 seconds? So this video from the teacher comes, it's always a point that always children listen to the teachers. What the mothers and the families can't teach, teacher can teach on the screen. Washing hands regularly is mandatory these days, and even after the lockdown is over, it is going to be there. So if a teacher can teach washing hands, that is another thing. And as about the attention span, if you're keeping class for 30 minutes, and if you can ask mother or anybody who's free around to be with the child, I think this will increase the attention span. Also, you can give a task like, as Nilakshi ma'am said, that count the number of chairs in the house. You can also ask them to go to the kitchen quickly, go and count the number of spoons. The task which needs more moving of hands and fingers. So the gross motor skills you are helping them to develop. So it is somebody if around the child to, because he would start running because he's just sitting and following what you're saying on the screen. So after every 10 minutes, if your class is for 30 minutes, after every 10 minutes, if you can just go and fix up something, a break time. So after 10 minutes, if a break time is that head, shoulders, knees and toes, head, shoulders, knees and toes, come back. So when he comes back on the chair, he's back to the lesson plans because you pepped him up, you energized him, and when he's energized and he's ready to take it back, because then he would like to sit. Fine. So maybe after every 10 seconds, you plan your lesson plans that after 10 minutes is an energy time. Or you can say that here comes the energy drink, have it, and gut. So anything which is any drama you can add on after 10 minutes, the learning will increase. Maybe your few seconds will be gone, but those waste seconds would be worthy of, next 10 minutes to prepare them for the task again. So these are few things, which can be used to get the attention and the energy back.
Thank you. We have one more, actually we have a lot of questions, but as I read, some of them we have already addressed, in all the talks. There is one aspect which is coming in again and again, saying that, parents are not very keen to have online classes for their children, and, they're not very interested. So is there any way we can kind of educate the parents as to why having these online sessions are important for them? Radhya, would you like to take this one?
Yeah. So ma'am, again, going on to back one very basic thing, that learning is a continuous process. It is not that, it's not an on and off button. It's a continuous process. And this is what the educators, while interacting, they should communicate. Again, this is one of the aspects And second aspect about this is that, what parents feel that, all this screen time and this is not what I want from a child. So what we can do is, when we go back again to our lesson plan and the teachers role, number one, teachers are the facilitators. And if we talk about the lesson plan, we need to involve a lot of those aspects which are readily available in the home. We can have kitchen as one of the best resources. Make sure that we are educating parents about, that let your children spend more time in the kitchens, which is while, washing the vegetables, or, making becoming partners in the household chores. And then if you talk about, we can give them some tasks that, make sure that today you put butter on the bread. So that's again a fine motor activity. Then play some cricket with the child. So that's again a physical activity. Then sing some songs. So that's again a communication and vocabulary development activity. So we can have some very basic things into our lesson plans and some of these assignments, wherein which involves a lot of parent partnership. And this parent partnership should not be of that sort that, okay, it requires a lot of effort. It needs to be very basic, focuses on life skill development. So this is what I feel, parents would get interested into these type of things. And eventually, with education being a continuous process, they themselves might get interested into these type of aspects.
Okay, thank you. To add to what Aradhya said, I feel that educating parents in terms of empathizing with them, saying that, yes, we know you have a lot on your plate at home. There's so many things you're doing, and it may get difficult for you to engage your child in this kind of session. We totally understand that. And, telling the parent that we're not, it's not time bound, you do it at leisure. Whenever you feel the need, or you finished your household work, or you think now this is a time to relax, probably you can bring in those recorded sessions at that time. If you have an online session scheduled, you should convince the parent, you should talk to the parent that this is for the well-being of your child. Like Aradhya very rightly said, that learning is a continuous process. We can't have it in breaks. So to continue that process, you could probably have your day schedule planned. So you can fit in that 20-minute online session which the school has asked you to do. Because having said that, parents are a very important stakeholder in the online learning and the home-based online learning. So you have to develop a rapport with the parent. It is the first and the foremost thing we should be looking at. Well, we have a lot of questions here again, like I said, and we seem to have answered many of them. If we haven't, we will take it up on the Facebook chat, and then we will try to answer all those questions for you. We've been talking a lot about lesson plans, We've been saying this is how you should plan a good plan, and this is how you could model it. So, interestingly and thankfully, the Early Childhood Association has a poster about how you can, it's like a model, it's giving guidelines as to how you can plan those lessons, online sessions of home-based learning with your children. And I'll be very happy to share that poster with everybody. So, you can use it as a reference, as guidelines, as you sit and frame your own lesson plans where you do it. And I think, just before we wrap up, I would say we have about 8 to 10 minutes with us. I would like, do I have all the panelists here? Nalakshi ma'am, Dr. Isha, are you here? So I would, quickly like to have one word, kind of a one sentence sum up of navigating online learning. A quick 1 minute from everyone. Can we do that? Yeah, okay, let's start from Neelima ma'am.
So I would like to consolidate what I mentioned earlier. It's the time given by God to us to develop love and rapport, to spread love and happiness and rapport. And what better way to reach home individually, develop a personal contact with the child, with the parent. And I'm sure when you come out of this lockdown, you will be having a better bond. So focus on that, because if the bond is developed, you can do anything. So make sure that we connect with the families now, so that when we meet again in our PTMs, they are no longer the complaining sessions. They are just to further strengthen our bond. So let's utilize this time for developing bond and spreading love and happiness. Thank you.
Okay, Raja, your takeaway?
Yes. So do your research and take the leap forward. And as Nilima ma'am told, spread happiness, spread love, and we'll all make sure that, our next PTMs is where parents realize our good values, and they totally understand it, the hard work. And just 4 things which are very important: be resilient, be creative, be innovative, and just a little bit of technical finesse, and then we are good to go.
Okay, Nilakshi ma'am, Dr. Isha. Okay, by the time they join, I would like to say that I have summed up. Okay, Dr. Isha's here. Ma'am, would you like to go ahead with your wrap-up lineup, please?
Yeah, as for parents, we were talking, I'd just like to say that make them sure that when we are interacting, then it is not a actual screen time or an addiction to screen time. So you can convince them that child is as it is on TV. Otherwise, if he is not interacting with you as a teacher, then he is actually watching useless TV. So we can make it very useful time and a very learning and maybe very entertaining for the kid. So that would be all, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Nilakshi ma'am. Okay, so by the time ma'am is here, I would like to say that to sum up what all the panelists have put forth, I think there are 5 takeaways which I have taken from this session. First is that know your why, and plan your lessons or your activities or your sessions, keeping all the stakeholders in mind. Okay. The second thing is educate the children that this is a temporary phase and it is going to go away. So, we will move to the playgrounds and we will have the screen time still. So that's, again, we look forward to the blended learning, which is going to come out post-COVID. Okay. The third I felt is that this is, again, technology, if used properly, is a boon, and now we need to use it well in the future, because that is going to be the new normal post-COVID. The fifth thing I feel is, like, again, happiness, life skills and human values is the utmost objective, and the need to be given to our children and to be inculcated and nurtured in them. Again, I think we've lost Nilakshi ma'am here. But nevertheless, I am extremely grateful to all of you to be able to spare time and be on the panel with us. A special mention to Harsha Ramaya ma'am, who is at the back end of this entire Zoom meeting with us. She is absolute lovely person and a darling who has done this arrangement and managed everything technically for us. I'm very grateful to her. Also, the president of ECA, Dr. Swati Vats, who has not stopped our learning in spite of this pandemic. We're learning so much every day. And again, the mentor of our territory, Asha Verma ma'am. So, and again, the attendees, we have a lot of attendees here, and it's again encouragement for us to see that, yes, we've been able to provide a few hand holding to everybody. So thanks for joining in, everyone, and have a good evening. Namaste.